I think before I give those examples, I think it's really important for those who are listening to understand what we mean by rituals, and then I'll give some of those specific examples of how to release some of those things that we may be doing that sabotage us in relationships. So first of all, rituals are very powerful tools to help us focus our mind in the direction we desire to go. So that's what I want to make sure that you understand, that rituals are tools. Someone might ask, well, how does that different from a habit? And, we define ritual as conscious, intentional acts you choose to make habitual. So the key word here is conscious. And habits are just something you do automatically, like having your cup of coffee in the morning. But it becomes a ritual when you add the consciousness or an awareness to it. In other words, you may do some gratitude, say some gratitude or appreciate things you appreciate while you're drinking that cup of tea or coffee in the morning. And then that's what distinguishes the two. And so it's that consciousness or that awareness that makes something a ritual. So when we use rituals in our life regularly, our lives flow with much greater ease and become easier in every way. And so some practical rituals you can use to release past emotional baggage. This one I love to have my clients do, which I just write out all the negative feelings about your past relationships. So that does not mean just this one past relationship or this current past relationship, or even in a relationship that you may be in. You're going to write it all out for all the past relationships as far back as you can remember. And then you write down all those negative feelings, those thoughts. You don't have to be kind. No one's going to be looking at it. And then you write it all out. And then what you're going to do is, it's wonderful if you can burn whatever you write down on that paper. If you can burn it, that would be safely burn it. But another thing you can do is you rip the pieces of paper into tiny, tiny pieces and put them through a shredder. And then just imagine that all that past stuff, all those negative things that you are holding on to from the past is just being released, and be grateful for being in the present. So that's number one. Number two is you can find a beach or a mountaintop or somewhere with a wide open space, and then scream out into the waves or the mountains all the gunk you want to release. So just scream it out. Let out all that feeling from the past, all the emotion, all the, maybe you're holding on to some resentment or anger or all that gunk, as I call it. Just scream it out or release it out. Because we hold on so often so much in our bodies, and then by doing that, you just release it out, let it go. And then you can sit with a friend, if you like, or, by yourself. It's good to do it with a friend because where two or more are gathered is always more powerful. And then just speak your heartfelt desires of what you are now going to be accepting in your life, what you would like now in your life. And so that's number two. That's a number two way that you can release. And then another way that I think is very, very important for moving forward is that if you are now going into another relationship in the future, in other words, you release this past relationship and you're no longer in partnership, then you want to remove all traces out that past relationships from your life. And by the way, I would do that for all the past relationships. So, if you have any negative associations to any objects that you received from them, maybe some clothing that you wore with them that brings back memories whenever you look at it or wear it, or maybe there's photographs, mementos, get rid of them. They just take up energy and space and then hold you emotionally to that past, and that emotion, if you're stuck there, is not supporting you in moving in a new direction, in the direction that you want in a new relationship.